Thank you, moderator. Assalamualaikum, ladies and gentlemen. I am Nurul Falahani binti Syamsul Bahri and I am representing SK Sebauh. Today, I would like to share a research on the effectiveness of Strorybird in improving English narrative writing. Ladies and gentlemen, in teaching and learning, technology is a fundamental part of learning experience and significant issues for teachers. In teaching English language, traditional way of teaching like chalk and talk and lecture-based lessons is not sufficient to teach English effectively. Patel 2013 quoted that the integration of technology has substantially changed English teaching methods as it provides variety of alternatives in order to make teaching and learning more interesting and productive. Our former Education Director General in 2016, Mr. Khair Muhammad Yusuf, said that result of Malaysia Primary School Achievement Test (UPSR) in 2016 showed that students' weakness in writing accurate and grammatically correct answer and revealed that primary 6 pupils have yet to achieve a level desired for writing in the English language. This shows that after 6 years of schooling, our primary school students are still weak in their writing skill. Compared to listening, speaking and reading skill, writing skill has become a major issue in our pupil English proficiency. Sheikh Ahmad in 2013 also stated that failure rate among rural pupils in national standardized English examination is double that of urban pupils. This shows that factors of location of school, urban and rural school, does affect pupils' level of proficiency and the issue should be addressed. Therefore, Ministry of Education, MOE, in the Third Thrust Education Transformation Plan, Rural School Sabah and Sarawak, have initiated initiatives to improve the development of physical facilities, internet access and virtual learning to help teachers and pupils maximize the use of ICT in classroom. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, this research aims to first study the effectiveness of Strorybird to enhance pupils' creativity in narrative writing, and secondly, to explore pupils' perspective on the use of Strorybird to enhance creativity in narrative writing. Let us take a look at the literature review that touches on technology in English language learning. A study was carried out by Paragoy and Boyle in 2012 and on the use of technology in enhancing reading and writing skill. The findings reveal that technology does improve learners' reading and writing skill because it is easy to be used and learners learn faster and in a more effective way. It is also found that the internet provided an encouraging learning environment and acted as a platform that facilitated learners to learn conveniently. Technology could be used as teaching aid as it is time effective for students to learn the language. The second literature review that touches on technology in teaching English writing by Zakaria, Yunus, Nazri and Shah in 2016, they conducted a study on English as a second language among Malaysian students. And the result revealed that urban and upper class students did not face issues in English writing compared to rural area students, in which a lot of issues arose, especially in writing in English. This shows that there are proficiency gap among urban and rural area students because of the exposure and access to English language. Therefore, the researchers recommended that teachers to use technology to shorten the proficiency gap by exposing the students to technology more in English language class. Lastly, the literature review that touches on Strorybird in teaching writing. A study was conducted by Tong Hatta, Kanokam and Natapakal in 2017 on the effect of using Strorybird to enhance creative English writing ability. The finding revealed that students' ability increased and students had positive perceptions on using Strorybird for their English writing. The study also revealed that student motivation also increased and improved towards writing creative essay. And lastly, Strorybird helps students to feel motivated in writing in English and in the same time increase their ability to write well. What are the methodology used in this research? The first is research design. It is an action research based on Chemist and McTaggart 1988 research model, where there are 4 stages of planning. The first one is planning stage, where I identified the pupils' writing problem first, and then second stage, acting, where I implemented the Strorybird, and then the third phase is observing, where the data of the outcomes were collected and analyzed, and lastly, reflecting phase, where reflections or discussion based on the analysis of data are being jotted down. And then the research participant in my research is 8 10-year-old pupils of SK Sebauh. Purposive sampling method was employed. The category of the participant is low to average English language proficiency level. Next is the data analysis technique used. To analyze the data of pre- and post-score of narrative writing, central tendency of descriptive statistic is used and generated using Statistical Package of Social Sciences, SPSS. And then I also use the semi-structured interviews and post-implementation anecdotal records were transcribed and analyzed thematically. So we have come to the interesting part of this research, which is finding and discussion. In pre and post test, as we can see here, these are the figure of result of pre and post test. For pre-test, the mean is 0.25 and the standard deviation is 1.28. For post-test 1, the mean is 14.13 and the standard deviation is 2.03. And lastly, for post-test 2, the mean is 16.05 and the standard deviation is 2.07. This shows that the participants scored more consistent and higher in post-test 1 and post-test 2 compared to pre-test after the implementation of Strorybird. Next is the findings based on the anecdotal record of classroom observation. First, participants were asked to write a 1-paragraph story based on the topics given on the whiteboard, and then their answer would be observed by me. As a conclusion, the participant has improved their organization of ideas, the use of correct grammar and sentence structures, and lastly, punctuation, spellings, and vocabulary. These are the evidence from the classroom observation that I have jotted down for organization of idea. This is the example of pre-implementation answer. And this is the answer for post-implementation answer. We can conclude that in pre-implementation, pupils had the ideas but not in the organized way. And for the post-implementation, the organization of the ideas was better as the participant omitted the unnecessary point such as I have a father and a mother, and the participant also added we live in Ulu Sebauh. For the second finding, where the student has improved the use of correct grammar and sentence structure, this is the evidence of pre-implementation, and this is the evidence of post-implementation. In pre-implementation, we can see that there are more grammar mistakes. And for example, the word washing after to and the word goes after the plural noun we. While in post-implementation, there are less grammar errors and less sentence structures error. Lastly, findings on the students' improvement in punctuation, spelling, and vocabulary. This is the example of pre-implementation answer, and this is the example of post-implementation answer. For pre-implementation, we can see that there are many punctuation errors. For example, the comma was not correctly placed and the spelling of barbecue was also spelled wrong. And for post-implementation, we could see that correct use of capital letter and small letter, commas, and spelling. And lastly, the student also replaced the phrase "is fun at the barbecue" to "enjoy the barbecue." Next is the findings that I got from semi-structured interview. The use of Strorybird increases participant interest and motivation in learning English. This is one of the findings that I got from the semi-structured interview. The second one is shows positive perspective of pupils as the participant imagination have also expanded. And lastly, from the semi-structured interview, I could conclude that Strorybird helps in English collaborative learning among the participant. To increase participant interest and motivation in learning English, these are the sample of answers. For example, participant 1, he said that I enjoy English class because the story writing activity is fun. Participant 2 said that I like English class because it is fun. Participant 5 said that I really enjoy the English class. We got to choose many colorful pictures in the website and then write our story. The activity is really fun. And lastly, participant 6 said that writing story in English is no longer hard. Using the website helps me to be creative and make it easy for me to imagine my story plot. Next finding is how Strorybird shows positive perspective of pupils. Participant 1 said that I like the pictures. The pictures are all beautiful. The pictures help me to imagine the characters I want in my story. Participant 2, I can turn my story into storybook. I can imagine the sequence of my story as I flip through the page using my mouse. And then for participant 4, the pictures are nice and I love it. I get to know which vocabulary I want to use after I saw and arranged the picture. And lastly, for participant 5, he said, I like Strorybird because it has many colorful pictures and it makes the writing activity fun. Lastly is the findings from the semi-structured interview that focuses on helps in English collaborative learning among the participant. The first one is participant 3 said that I understand better when my friend taught me how to use the website. I get to understand how to write writing and expanding my story from my friend. Participant 6 also agreed and she said that I think I learn how to use the website faster when I am with my friends. We can explore the website, share ideas and write a story together. And lastly, participant 7 said that after I learned writing the story using Strorybird, I could easily write my story in a short time. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the conclusion of my action research. From the analysis of the finding, there are 4 major themes of conclusion that I can conclude from my research. The first one is the use of Strorybird contributes to the improvement of the participant English proficiency test. The second one is Strorybird increases in interest and motivational level of the participant in learning English and after the implementation of Strorybird. The third one is it is nice and interesting illustration in the Strorybird and digital storybook features in the Strorybird helps in expanding participant imagination. And lastly, the use of Strorybird helps in creating English collaborative learning among the participant. Ladies and gentlemen, this research hopes to help Malaysian English teacher to explore more digital tools and trusted strategy in English teaching and learning for our young generation. That's all from me. These are my references. Thank you. We'll be right back with the moderator.